Today we're exploring Nissa, voice of Zendikar and Oathbreaker, and seeing what kind of signature spell might pair best with her. For 3 mana, she starts at 3 loyalty. +1, put a 0/1 green plant creature token onto the battlefield. -2, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. -7, you gain X life and draw X cards, where X is the number of lands you control. First of all, I always love 3 mana planeswalkers. That's almost as good as it gets in this format. I also love plus abilities that make creatures, that makes it easier to get to that ultimate. I'll admit that I do wish she did a little bit more though. The +1 is purely defensive, the -7 does not win you the game and takes you a while to get there. The -2 could be pretty good. I suppose you could make that +1 more of an offensive move if you put enough +1/+1 counters on your plants and attack with them. I guess let's explore some signature spell options and see where it takes us. Considering that -2 could be pretty powerful, we could choose a signature spell with Proliferate to proliferate up all the +1/+1 counters on our creatures, plus also the loyalty abilities on Nissa. Or Inspiring Call, an instant for 3. Draw a card for each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it. Those creatures gain indestructible till end of turn. Or we could pick a signature spell that makes lots of creature tokens to maximize the value of that -2, and of them, Beacon of Creation is my favorite because it scales with the game. For 4 mana, put a 1/1 green insect creature token into play for each forest you control. I love that if you have to cast this a second time or even a third time, it's going to make more tokens than each time prior. I think Scatter the Seeds is a solid budget option. An instant for 5 mana says put 3 1/1 green sapperling creature tokens onto the battlefield. And it has Convoke, which means you can tap your creatures to pay for its mana cost. And although it doesn't scale with the game like Beacon of Creation does, the creatures that it makes can be tapped for its Convoke cost the next time you cast it. So sometimes, at least, it can get easier and easier to cast, and I think that's pretty neat. And speaking of neat, Verdant Command is an instant for 2. Choose 2. Target player creates 2 tapped 1/1 green squirrel creature tokens. Counter target loyalty ability of a planeswalker. Exile target card from a graveyard. Target player gains 3 life. Now obviously the creature tokens is why I'm mentioning this, but also counter target loyalty ability of a planeswalker. That is a really unique, really powerful thing to do in this format. Do note that when you do this, they still add or subtract any loyalty from their planeswalker as normal. They just don't get the effect from it. Awaken the Woods for X green creates X 1/1 green forest dryad land creature tokens. That's pretty wonky. This would synergize well with Nissa, not only because that -2 puts +1/+1 counters for a go-wide token strategy, but also because it adds to your land count, which makes that -7 even better. Then we've got some thematic cards, cards with Nissa in the name and art. These first 4 have to do with searching up lands and putting them onto the battlefield or into our hand. Nissa's Revelation can draw us a bunch of cards and gain us a bunch of life, kind of like Nissa's -7, and Nissa's Judgment is a kill spell that has to do with +1/+1 counters. I'm not sure that these last 2 are worth the signature spell slot, but you know, you've got options. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. That tells YouTube that you enjoyed the video and it'll share it with more people, which I would really appreciate. Here's some more videos that I think you might like, and I'll see you there.